Welcome to Triangle BNI. Today's show is brought to you by Oak City Tech. We talk all the time, folks, in the digital world. If you are business, uh, ventures are there. You need professionals to help you get the message out, the correct message out to the correct people. So if you go to oakcitytech.com, tell Drago and his team what you're looking for. I know they'll be able to help you. Hi, everybody. My name is Mike Manning. Each week on Triangle BNI, we bring you a local small business success story. If you are not familiar with BNI, it is Business Networking International, the world's largest networking organization. Our little slice of heaven here in the Triangle, Raleigh, Durham, and Chapel Hill, and all the surrounding cities and towns. About 35 chapters each week get together, about 520 members. Our goal is to help each other grow our business. And our small business success story today is Michelle Owens with Impact Staffing Group. Michelle is also a member of RDO6. It is Profits in the Park. They meet Tuesday mornings at 9 a.m. and they are in person at Hope Community Church in Morrisville. Michelle, how are you?
I'm good. Mike, how are you doing today?
Doing good. Very festive background. You got the tree up, you got the Christmas ball, the red, the green, the gold, and looks like a planetarium in there. Michelle gave us a tour earlier. And you're ready to go. There's no wait on Christmas with you after Thanksgiving, is there?
Oh no, the day after Christmas or the day after Thanksgiving is
Yeah.
where we set up everything for Christmas.
So Michelle does impact staffing, which means she helps businesses find people to hire if they have a position they're looking for and don't really have the time or the experience on finding good candidates to interview. Michelle does that. And she also helps businesses find people for those tough to find positions. And Michelle's relatively new to impact staffing. But Michelle, what are you learning these days about the market on hiring people?
Well, interestingly enough, even though I've only been with Impact Staffing since September, I've been in the staffing industry for quite some time because with my previous company, where we were already talking to people who had staffing needs. So, one of the things that I've learned recently is simply that there is no discrimination when it comes to the hiring shortage. And everybody in every industry is tired of going through 150 applications or people who are expressing interest in a position only to find out that you can't get them on the phone, that they are not actually interested in applying for a job. They're just checking off a box for whatever reason. And companies, those decision makers that are making those hiring decisions, those company professionals are tired of just spinning their wheels. And there's a lot of turnover in positions, whether it is from administrative assistant all the way to C-level professionals. There's turnover. And so there are two things that are a problem there. Either you're not getting the right candidate in place or you have an internal problem. And so we can help with both of those situations. So it is a very tough market right now for employers who are looking for that right person that's going to be a long time lasting employee.
We are November 29th right now. So there are probably some people looking at either applying for a new position come January or looking for a new position in the same industry they're in, but they're ready to make a change. From the employee standpoint, when you go looking for a job, what are some things you're looking for from them on their resume and in an interview that make you think, okay, we got a winner here?
Well, the first thing I would recommend is definitely make sure that you're applying to positions that you have experience in. If you are, if you're working at a fast food organization and you want to break into something that is more outside of that industry, I would encourage you not to just go right for a management position or being an account manager or business development manager if you don't have experience in that industry. Make sure that you're applying for things that you have experience in. And also elaborate on the other areas that aren't necessarily work related, things that you have accomplishments in. What are your skill sets? If you are looking to break into a technology industry, Make sure you build up your technology software skill sets. What are you proficient in? And so identifying those proficiencies are definitely going to help make you stand out, but also following up with people after you have submitted your application or your resume for a position, follow up. Very few people are following up. Make sure you have a cover letter. Read through your cover letter and make sure that somebody else reads through it so you don't have any typos.
Yeah,
That's also going to make you stand out, especially if you're applying for a position that requires attention to detail.
yeah. Alright, so let's
Make
come
sure
back.
somebody
Yep,
else
yep,
reviews it.
yep, and so let's come back to the follow-up in a second. A lot of times, and I've hired a fair number of people in my day, they didn't read through the whole job description, and there's 2 parts to
Mm.
that. One is, to your original point, are you qualified for it? But second of all, if there are key words or phrases in there and you have that experience, you need to put those words back into your cover letter and your interview.
They're telling you how to sell yourself to them.
Yep.
They are telling you what they're looking for. Read through it and make sure I agree with you. Make sure you're putting those keywords in your cover letter as well as on your resume.
So going back to the follow-up, so I've applied for a job that you're trying to fill for one of your clients, and I'm a pretty good fit. I send you my resume or I fill it in online, however I get that to you. And let's say last week was not a holiday week, and I sent it in last Wednesday. What are my next steps? What do I need to do to not bug you, but let you know, hey, I'm interested?
I would I would definitely follow up with an email in a couple of days. Give it 48 hours, 48 business hours. No one's going to respond on a weekend typically, but make sure that you follow up within a couple of days. Then follow up a week later, and then let that be it. They will follow up with you one way or the other. When I was a hiring manager, I really appreciated it when people followed up because one, it kept their name in front of me. And so when I started going through resumes again or looking at different resumes, I'm keeping your name in front of me, which helps you stand out. So I wouldn't see it as bugging, but I would definitely say wait 48 hours after submitting and make sure you're not just sending a one-line email saying, "Hey, looking for an update." Make sure that you are presenting yourself
Yeah.
a little bit more professionally and giving more detail. I've appreciated the opportunity to apply, would welcome an opportunity to speak to you about this position more in detail. So please let me know when you're available.
So get
That's
yeah.
much better.
Oh, yeah. Give us a tip or 2 on who to put down as a reference.
Not a family member.
Thank you. Was hoping you would say that because if and
Not a spouse.
I've had this happen before, and granted it was an hourly job for a kid in high school, and this was years ago, and his mom was a reference, and I did not bring it up to him, but I tell the story to to professionals. I know what your mother's gonna say, and if she doesn't, you got bigger problems, right? But, yeah, so no family members, especially your mother, so go ahead. But, yeah, we laugh about it, but that's a deal killer if your
Well,
mom's
and
on
that's
there.
one of the reasons why you want to make sure that you are working, whether it is as a babysitter,
Mhm.
you are working as a volunteer position in an organization, um, regardless of whether you are getting compensated or not. Someone needs to be able to speak to your work ethic.
Yep.
Someone needs to be able to speak to the fact that you show up on time. Someone needs to be able to speak to the fact that you can take multi-step directions and follow them and be able to be tactful, your professionalism, all of those things you need to focus on. Not necessarily, hey, this person's a good employee. I would recommend hiring them because I want them off my payroll when it comes to them
Yeah,
wanting gas money.
yeah.
Do not put down a parent or a family member. You need to have a bigger network of referrals to pull from.
one of my favorite references for people, and this usually happens as you're in the working world a little bit longer, is I love it when one of your former bosses is a reference for you. That tells me a lot right there.
Oh, absolutely. And even if you are not just starting out as a high school student or a college student, even as a long-term professional,
Mhm.
I have a great working relationship with my prior employers, so I can put them down as a reference. You want to make sure that you have people that you know are going to be able to give you a positive reference. I will tell you that one person in particular asked if they could use me as a reference, and I told them no, because I only knew them in one capacity
Mhm.
in a prior job that they had, and they were looking for an opportunity to help them stretch and expand their skill sets, which is great. But I can't speak to your work ethic.
Yeah.
I only knew how you presented yourself in this one capacity. So please don't put me down as a reference because I cannot speak to your work ethic. I did not work with you. And so it's okay for people who are being asked if they can be a reference. It's okay to be honest and say, I don't think that I'm the best person to put down as a reference.
In another area where I've had this conversation with people for years that they don't talk about more is their volunteerism and community involvement, because that tells me a lot of things right there. Hey, you found something you were passionate about and you jumped in to help. You're a volunteer, so you would show up on a Saturday morning for a book drive or a Tuesday night for a dinner, or you've held this role there. But that tells me a lot about people as well. And a lot of times you'll see it just as a, oh, by the way, one liner at the bottom of a resume.
Well, and it speaks to your character too.
Mhm.
It tells people that are looking at you and trying to make a judgment call from a one-page cover letter, one-page resume, or one or two-page resume. It tells them that you care about others, that you are not self-focused. We've all heard from Deborah Matthias, whom I adore, that when you look at someone's LinkedIn profile,
Mm.
the first thing you should do is go down and check out how many recommendations they've given
Yes.
and how many they've received. You should never have, they should always match. So you should never have more recommendations that you've received than you've given because that looks like you're a taker, right? And so I would keep that in mind. You want to make sure that you present yourself well on a resume and on a cover letter so people know that you care about others. You care about the company that you work with. And, being fiercely loyal is great to a company, but that does not define who you are as a person. So, what other activities and organizations are you a part of? It's important to paint a clear picture. Now, I'm not saying go back to 1973 with all your activities,
Hey, I
but
was cutting grass back then. I was 12, so yeah, I was
I
working.
think we can leave that one off, Manny. But I think it's important for you to identify the other activities you've done in the last 5 years. Do something that's current.
Yep, yep. All right, we are here with Michelle Owens with Impact Staffing Group, and you can reach her at impactstaffinggroup.com, as well as the phone number we've been putting up on the list here. Michelle's also a member of Prophets in the Park. They meet Tuesday mornings at 9 a.m. at the Hope Community Church in Morrisville. So since today is Monday, we now have something for you to do tomorrow at 9 a.m. in Morrisville if you live in the area. Meet some good people. All right, so we're coming off of a Thanksgiving week, and I like Thanksgiving for a couple of reasons. One is the food, uh, still
Yes.
eating, still eating leftovers. I think the Food and Drug Administration tells us the end of dinner time tonight is the end of the leftovers that you should send. You should throw them out if you haven't eaten them. But there's no pressure to buy gifts and decorate and stuff like that. You show up. If you don't cook, you clean, and that's the rule in the house, and I like that. So how did your Thanksgiving go?
Well, My Thanksgiving went very well. Probably a little too well. And I've got a prop here to show you here in just a second to show you how well things went. But I will say that I tend to do a ton of cooking,
Mhm.
but there usually are more people here to eat it. So when I tell people all the different things that were on our menu, they say, "How many people are coming?"
Yeah.
And I would say, "Well, I have 7." And they said, "I think you need more people."
How many cobblers did
So
you make?
I didn't make any, but my mom made one.
Okay. Mom's cobbler is always the best, no matter who says what, right? Oh, you don't agree with that. You got quiet real quick. And I
I'm not saying anything.
well,
I'm not saying anything that I have not told her.
yes.
She and I like crust.
Mhm.
She likes juice.
Yep.
So it's just how you, in what order you put the ingredients in, make a difference
There you go.
to me.
Favorite story from the week?
You tell me yours while I'm going to get my prop.
Well, okay. So there's a couple. One involves food, one doesn't. So we'll go with the one that doesn't. About 4 years ago, my sister found a house in Waves, North Carolina, on the Outer Banks, right next to the big city of Avon. If you're more familiar with Avon, there. Other than that, I have no idea where the city is. And it's a house on the water, and it sleeps. We had 16 people there for the week, and there's enough bedrooms to sleep people. There's a movie room, there's a elevator if you need it, and hey, sometimes we took it. And then there's a poker room downstairs. And we like to play, our family likes to play poker because some of them are pretty good, and basically we're all good bluffers. Some of us better than others. And there's a game my brother taught us last time we were there was 4 years ago. It's called 5 1/2, 21 1/2. All right. So cards 2 through 10, count that number. Aces are 1 or 11, and face cards are a half a point. All right. So Michelle, if so, its first card is down. So if your down card you were dealt is a 5, obviously we can't see that. And then your next card is a king, you're sitting at 5 1/2. The pot is split between high and low. So you have to
Okay.
declare, do you want to go high? Do you want to go low? So if your first card up is a 9, you're going high because you can't go low. You'd be over 5 1/2. You're welcome to try to bluff somebody out of that, but it's not going to work. And so we were down there playing, and our cousin Ron is he's a very good salesman, which makes him an excellent bluffer. And he's got the body language for it, and he's got "Oh gosh, how can I win?" One of my dad's great lines playing poker was, "This isn't a hand, this is a foot." And so, Ron's throwing it out, and of course, he's the one that wins all the time, right? So just playing poker and laughing and trying to look at each other. We got nieces and nephews and aunts and uncles there, so everybody's like, if I'm sitting next to you and you have your whole card face down and one card face up, and I'm thinking, you may have 5 1/2, but I know I have 4 1/2. It's like, okay, is that enough? And then if I take another card and it's a 3, then I got to go high. So I need, and you bet every time around the table. So it's interesting, uh, the discussions that are had at the poker table. So we had a lot of fun. And just you need good family BSers to have a good poker game. And we had a couple of those yep. We had a couple of those good poker games.
Well, awesome. Well,
Oh, God.
my guest had to wear these.
All of them?
Isn't that? Oh, yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Isn't that cute?
No,
I
no,
think it is cute. So
no.
this is going to keep people away from my dinner table. Um, but but we had a very bittersweet Thanksgiving this year. So this was my first year or our first year without my dad. So he passed this year, unfortunately, unexpectedly, and the sweet part was that we had my mom here. So she is wonderful in her own right. Kids had a great time. And we met a friend's girlfriend that we had heard lots of wonderful things about, but had not met her yet. And we just absolutely adore her.
Good.
So it was great to finally meet her and just be able to have some new people
Yeah.
to talk to.
And we did, our Friday night no, our Thanksgiving meal Thursday night because everybody was still there. We, always say grace, and so we're standing around the table holding hands, and either my cousin or brother-in-law does the prayer. And he mentioned everybody that's not with us, and my mom was there 4 years ago, and she passed a couple of years ago. She passed a year after that, so but we got a chance to share some stories about last time we were here with my mom, who loves beach walks, and she's bundled up like she's going on an Arctic expedition, no matter what the weather is on the beach. She's got a hat, a hoodie, long pants, gloves. It's hilarious. So it is important to acknowledge that even though you miss them dearly, whether it was recently like you or I'm going on 3.5 years with my mom. Um, and I love the memories. There's always a funny story, right? There's always a funny story. And so we had a couple of family members, a couple of real close friends that weren't there. So everybody got a chance to share. And um, I do enjoy that moment of sharing those stories. It makes everybody laugh.
Well, now I will tell you, Manning, that the day after the turkey headdress and everything comes off, we put up our Christmas decorations.
Jeez.
So,
Yeah.
and on our Christmas tree, Amnon's like, "Who
Yeah.
is this lunatic?
Yeah. Is she ever going to be
Um,
on again?
is she ever? Please, no, not during a holiday." So,
God.
on our Christmas tree, we have ornaments for all of those that are not with us. Oh, come on, Manning, you love it. You love it.
I'm not
Well,
surprised. I don't know why I'm laughing so much. I'm not sur folks, Michelle and I know each other pretty well. I'm not surprised at all, but it still makes me laugh.
yes. So we put we okay, look, man, I've got a whole basket of these things that
Oh, we
people
could
have
be
to
here till
wear.
2 o'clock. Yes, I'm well aware of
Oh,
that.
or longer, or
Oh, yeah.
longer.
Oh, yeah.
But on the Christmas tree, we have we have an ornament for people who are no longer with us. So each person
Oh,
gets
very
an
cool.
ornament. So I put the tree up and then hook it up, and then the girls have always decorated the tree. So they love it, and we watch, Christmas movies constantly
Yep.
between now and New Year's. So, but yeah, we do that. We go on a long walk to walk off some of the turkey.
Yes.
So we did that.
Alright, now tell me if
Um,
your girls would do this or you. I think Greg would, your husband, but I don't know about you. At the beach, it was just brutally cold for a couple of days, like, can't even sit out on the back deck with a drink cold, and that's just kinda wrong. And so 2 of my nephews and 1 of my nieces said, "Alright, at 1 o'clock, we're jumping in the ocean," and sure enough, I think the wind chill was about 38, which meant the water was a lot lower than that, and they ran in, got underwater, and ran back out and jumped in the hot tub, but would your girls do that?
no, I don't know. We were at my sister-in-law's cabin, my sister-in-law and brother-in-law's cabin, um, back in February of last year. And was it last year? No, 2019. And they have and it was snow on the ground. It was like literally we were in Ohio, and it was honest to goodness like 2 feet of snow that fell overnight. Um, White fluffy snow, like Colorado like snow that we don't get here. And my kids put on bathing suits and jumped in the hot tub. But they didn't go jump in a lake and then jump in the
Yeah.
hot tub. No, I don't think they would do that. I have no problem with like getting in a hot tub
If they
when
had
it's cold
their
out there.
how many cousins do they have?
They have 4.
Alright, so if there's a gaggle of 6 and 4 wanna go in, you mean to tell me your daughter, one of your daughters is spunky enough to go, "Alright, I'm up for it."
Hannah would,
Right,
not Megan.
right. Yep,
Megan's like, "I wanna keep all my fingers and my toes. I don't need any frostbite."
yep,
But Hannah would be going, "Oh, it's fine.
yeah.
Let's just go."
She's
Yeah,
gamey, she'll do that.
she would totally do it.
Yep. Now, one of my roles, I serve a key purpose at family gatherings and holidays, is I am the ultimate errand runner. "Hey, Mike, we're low on this. Can you run up to the store?" Absolutely. If I know what the product is, not a problem. If I don't know what it is, I take a picture of it and I just walk along the aisle with my camera. Oop, there it is, grab it. So I'm very good at errand running and I'm very good at cleaning up. So we got there Sunday, I think about 1, and, everybody was on their own for dinner that night, and then each night after that, one of the families would take the dinner meal to cook, whatever they wanted to. And so Becky was short on, or either Becky or my sister needed something, and they said, "Hey, can you run and get this?" Like, "Absolutely, that's what one of the things I do best." Let's just say the food line was not close to the house. 15 and a half miles away was the closest grocery store. But again, not a problem. I'm on a one-lane road and there's the beach on one side, so I'm good. Run an errand, not a problem. So I get to Food Line and in the strip center, I saw Duck Donuts. And if you've never had Duck Donuts, folks, go to duckdonuts.com. They have donut they my So anyways, so I get home Monday and, after the run to the Food Line, said, "Okay," so to my cousin's husband, said, "Alright, tomorrow we're running to Duck Donuts." He goes, "What's that?" He lives in Georgia, now he knows they have them in Atlanta. He didn't know they did. And so I pulled up the website, I said, "Here, look." He goes, "Oh god." So there's 2 family favorites on there. One is a maple bacon donut, and it is outstanding. Bacon, you cannot go wrong with bacon. And the second one is an apple pie donut. So Tuesday morning, Justin and I get up. We leave the house at 8 o'clock. We drive to Duck Donuts. He's drooling all the way there. He's drooling in the store. He's drooling all the way back. And we brought a dozen. What to drool? Still, thank you, Emma. They're that good. They're that good. And so we only bought a dozen. No, we bought a dozen. And we brought him home, and what we learned is to cut donuts into quarters. So you may not want the whole thing, but you want to taste it, and there just seems to be more there, right? And everybody's just wolfing it down, and boy, you can tell the sides of bacon chosen quickly. Ugh, bacon on a donut, or can you get more tomorrow? Which we did. So he and I went Tuesday morning. We got 2 boxes, and we got 5 maple bacon donuts. But that was the best find the whole weekend, Duck Donuts right there. Oh, like we needed more junk to eat and sugar.
Well, now I will tell you, Greg and I did our, um, ancestry DNA and found out that both of us have Scottish heritage. And I went back and looked at it again last night, and I'm more Scottish than he is, which I love, 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 because that means I don't have to try to get him into a kilt. Um, but we made minced meat pie filling this year.
It's the best, by the way, that's my favorite pie, and it has been for years, so please keep talking.
I made it this year by myself, and it is wonderful.
Yep,
And we took puff pastry. I'm looking over there. I've got them on my counter. We took puff pastries and we put the filling in, and then rolled it up, and then sliced it like a cinnamon roll, and then laid them on their sides and baked them.
yep.
They look so good.
Oh, yeah.
They look so good. So, but yeah, that was awesome. And you were talking about getting the donuts and cutting them into quarters. Another trick, whether you were at a networking event or you have family coming in, is I go to Panera and I get half a dozen bagels, different bagels,
Mhm.
and have them run them through the bread slicer.
Yeah,
So then people end up with little chips of a bagel.
yep.
And it looks like there's more bagel there than there is, but people can get an everything, like
Mhm.
a little chip of an everything
Yeah.
bagel or Asiago. and it just works because then people can graze.
Yep, it's the way to go. So let's go back to the mincemeat pie. You're one of the very few people I know walking the planet that have ever brought that up. When I was even before a teenager, my dad's mom made it one day, and I've been hooked since. And the reason, well, I love it, and the reason why it's so good for me to ask somebody to make during a holiday or my birthday is nobody, now that my mom is gone, nobody else ever asked for a slice of mincemeat pie, so I get the whole thing. Beautiful. Just a
Well,
beautiful thing.
I have some puff pastry I will bring you, man,
Oh, I
because
love
I got a
mincemeat
bunch.
pie, yep.
So I've got another quart jar of the filling that is soaking in brandy right now for Christmas.
Nice, nice. So I
So
I told you about bacon will divide the house. The other thing that divided our house were puzzles. So my wife is a big puzzle fan, and our niece Megan said, "Oh, I know if Aunt Becky's here, there's puzzles." And sure enough, there were five, ranging from 500 pieces to a 2,000 piece one. And so they spread it out on the big kitchen table, and there were about seven of them, always working on it in one form or fashion. And then the rest of us are like, eh.
we love a puzzle.
I don't. Okay, so explain this to me, Amnon. If you do puzzles, please jump in here. So I don't explain if you have a I don't understand you have a 2,000 piece puzzle and you're just kind of starting out. You're in the first hour of sorting it out because you try to get the edges first. Makes perfect sense.
Yes.
And then you hold up a piece that's kind of a little bit maybe blue at the top, kind of mostly sort of blue at the bottom, maybe a grayish on the side, and you hold it up to the front of the box and see, now where does this piece go in? That could
Mhm.
not be more boring. Oh
You
my
know what's
god.
boring?
What?
You know what's boring?
What?
Well, my computer's about to die. What's boring is watching a Ohio State, Michigan, or Ishigan, as we have to call them,
In the snow.
game,
Yep.
and your husband, who grew up in Ohio, is
Oh.
so upset because after 8 years of
Yeah.
straight wins against that team,
Yep.
this other poor team wins, and we walk our little dog up the street because she has to go out, and then he's wearing his Ohio State shirt just as proud as punch, and an Michigan fan is up the street,
Yep.
and he's like, "Man, I feel your pain. I felt it for 8 years."
Shut up.
And yeah, and then you dial in to watch Virginia Tech play,
Yeah.
and I'm like, "Where is Fuentes? Where is
Gone.
Coach Fuentes?" And they let him go.
Oh, yeah, that was quick. Surprised you missed that
What
one.
in the world?
Oh, he
Oh, I
he
was
just
so upset.
he hadn't delivered. He hadn't delivered.
I don't care. You don't do that before the big game of the season.
Darling, it has to do with ticket sales, has nothing to do with the biggest game of the season, so that's what
I think that
now,
was a party foul.
did you have Greg, let's just use a word, fertilize? Did he have your dog fertilize the Michigan fans' yard?
No, because we like our neighbor.
Eh, yeah, but it's still them. Still the
No,
school he roots for.
oh no, we did not fertilize that neighbor's yard. But he was very kind
He
and
better
told Greg
be.
to
Yeah,
he's like, "Suck it up, Buttercup. It's our year to win."
yep. It was
So,
fun. My niece is a freshman over at NC State, and it was fun because we watched State beat Carolina on Saturday night, Friday night. Yeah, Friday night because yeah. And it was fun watching her watch her first State Carolina game and cheering. It's like eight if you I'll sum up the game, 18 things had to happen, 7 of them goofy for State to win, and they all happened. And they won late, but so it was fun watching her watch her first State Carolina game, and it came out happily for her.
well, it was rough. But hey, gobble gobble, Virginia Tech won.
There you go.
Gobble gobble. So I
Um,
was happy about that.
yep. So we were at a networking event the other day, and I was at one of the questions I asked people, your favorite Thanksgiving food. All right. And I am a stuffing and gravy in a big bowl kind of guy. If there's a little garnish of turkey there and there's some sides, like my mom used to make this broccoli salad that was real good, but it is straight to the stuffing and the gravy. and put the mashed potatoes right next to it. Yep,
Oh, absolutely.
yep,
I love dressing. I call it dressing,
yep.
stuffing, but this year it did not turn out right. So I'm gonna have
Ooh,
to make another one this week because I have to have some. But I do for the last few years I've been making homemade cranberry sauce.
oh gosh.
Gone are the days when it
Oh,
slides out of a can. I am telling you, it is the easiest thing in the world to make, and it is so yummy.
eh,
But oh,
eh,
you gotta try mine. It's
no,
yummy.
no, I'm not.
Um, it's so yummy. But I will say that I am a stuffing girl with
Yep.
gravy. I have to have it.
Amnon, your choice of foods was what?
This the
Yeah,
last
let's go with this.
we had turkey, we had stuffing, but the best thing is my sister-in-law really keeps kosher,
Okay.
so she wouldn't touch that. So she went ahead and fixed something that my mom used to fix
Ooh,
when we were kids, which is
okay,
some kind of a stuffed chicken that you cook all night.
okay.
Said, "We'll just fix hashwa." I said, "Yeah, go ahead." I'm telling you, and I'm diabetic, type 2, and my sugar went up to about 250, but I just couldn't stop.
See, now that's how you know food is good, if
Yeah,
it does exactly what they tell you it's gonna do.
I mean, but yeah, I mean,
Well,
it's I'll eat anything.
I I feel your pain, Amnon, because I have to be gluten free,
Mhm.
Oh,
and so I make gluten free cornbread, and I found these crackers that are gluten free. They're in like the international aisle, and they I substitute those for saltines. My dressing tastes so good, and you would never know it's gluten free. I hope nobody that came to my Thanksgiving dinner thinks that that was not gluten free, and I was just wolfing it down. Um, but it's so good. I love that stuff.
oh, yeah,
I love it.
and
And
then
my
there's
mom makes
dessert.
all kinds of
Mm,
baked goods.
yeah. I mean, you gotta snack on stuff before the meal and then, of course, after the meal, and my father-in-law loves a good he likes a 1 o'clock Thanksgiving meal and then a 5:30 turkey sandwich, every year, every year.
Every year,
Yep,
every year. Yeah, we finished up the turkey last night, I think,
yeah.
and so I typically end up having more bacon than turkey on my
Ooh,
or like pork on
yep,
my table than turkey. We have
yep.
turkey,
Mm,
but then I have a ham,
yeah.
and then I have green bean bundles typically, which are green
Mm, mm,
beans that
mm.
are wrapped in bacon
All good.
with brown sugar and stuff on it. And so since this was my dad's first year not being with us, I was trying different stuff. I should have just stayed the course and just made what I normally made. Because I tried to make a gluten-free,
Ew.
um, like a gluten-free homemade green bean casserole.
Yeah,
That was not a winner. So next year, or at Christmas, I'm just staying the course. I'm making my green bean bundles.
yeah, yeah, there're just certain
So
things everybody expects every Christmas, and when our family gathers, everybody the wives wisely keep the husbands out of this, and the wives get together and figure out, okay, who's bringing what, and there's certain things, like, they always ask for my mom's, uh, broccoli casserole, which now Becky makes, because everybody there's always that one those 1, 2, or 3 things that the family goes they invite you and then go, like, "You're bringing your dish, right?" Because the answer is no, you know they're gonna just take that invitation away.
well, okay. So here's the thing, Mike. Maybe I should have this conversation with Becky. But we had our friend, um, Greg. He does not eat onions,
Ooh.
so I had to make my cornbread dressing, and I was like, "Look, man, don't eat it. There's some onions in there."
Yeah, yeah,
But he also does not eat sweet potatoes. I am from South Central Virginia.
yeah,
There is sweet potato casserole. There is onion in most everything.
and
And when
I
I say
yeah.
he doesn't like onion, I mean
Yeah.
even like onion powder, he won't eat.
See, now I view that as a him problem. So you make your dish and do just what you did. It's like, Greg, there's onions in here, but there's 18 other things on the table you can pick from.
There is tons of stuff,
Yeah, because
but
you
just stay
don't
away from that.
yeah, you don't change things for people. Like if there's 15 people there and there's 2 that don't like something, you don't change it for them. You give them another option. And I don't mean to say that in a bad way,
Yes.
but I mean, some things you just gotta have because everybody else can have
Well,
it.
and like the green bean casserole clearly had onions in there. So I
Yep.
also had Brussels sprouts with a honey glaze and bacon
Yeah.
crumbles on top.
Yeah.
So he had another option.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I knew he liked Brussels sprouts, and that definitely helped. But oh my gosh, y'all are making me so hungry. Is it time for lunch yet?
Soon, soon. And then there's dessert. So my sister-in-law, Leslie. So if anybody's looking for a very good realtor, she owns TriCap Properties. So if you have a house you want to rent, and here's why. The chocolate cake she makes is good on its own. And then the icing that goes on top of there is just, it's just the icing you just want to put in a bowl and just eat that. You know the icing is good when you can eat it with or without the cake.
That's bad for you.
Oh, shoots everything
Oh,
up, absolutely, but at
you
least
just said that, and Amnon sugar went up
is
complete.
Yep.
but it's
No,
true. I found myself generally every year around Thanksgiving, especially as I get older, I'm very tired the evening of and the day after, but I know why. So,
I tell you
Well,
what we did here for years now. I mean, since Hannah, my daughter, was diagnosed as a diabetic type 1 back when she was 12.
oh,
She's 30
wow.
some now.
Okay.
Every Thanksgiving, Kathy, my wife, likes to make like it's a fruit salad kind.
Yeah.
It's got all kind of different things with cranberries in it, and she would always fix 2 bowls,
Mhm.
and one of them was for people that don't want to have any. I mean, you can't have it without sugar, but substitutes and stuff, something that will not be as bad. The same thing when she was cooking, she's making any kind of pie or whatever, she'll substitute sugar for like stevia and
Mhm.
make one like that and two for the rest of the people, so everybody
Yep.
can eat it. And like when I make hummus,
Mm.
uh, I like to put cayenne pepper in it. People love it,
Ooh,
but there's a lot of
yeah.
people can't stand it. So
Yep.
I will stop, take out a little bowl
Mhm.
without it, and then put it in, and I
Yeah,
have a bowl with it.
that's
So
perfect.
you can yeah,
Yep.
but it's easier said than done when
Mhm.
you're cooking complex dishes.
But that's the way to go.
well,
You don't eliminate it from the menu, you
Right.
just give them another option. I think that's perfect
oh
way to
yeah.
go.
Yeah, but I
Well,
don't
we
know how
have
Michelle would have done the cornbread without onion.
You can't. There's
onion.
some
You
things you
gotta
can't
See,
have
separate.
some
that's
onion.
it doesn't work.
It does not.
I mean, I think I'm gonna have criteria next year where if you don't like an onion,
Yeah. You're not invited.
there's
Yeah.
nothing here for you. But I will say that we have a vegetable dip that has turmeric in it that my
Mhm.
mother-in-law makes.
Yep.
That stuff, every time we need to go somewhere for an appetizer night or whatever, I bring that over and everybody loves that.
Mhm.
So we do that. And this year, again, trying new things, instead of doing a pecan pie, and it is pecan, not pecan, because a pecan's what you use in the woods. This is a pecan pie.
Pecan.
Pecan, pecan, pecan.
Look at Mike.
Mike's
But
like, I can't believe she went there.
no, that's
But instead of making a pecan pie, I made pecan bars. And I got this recipe off of Pinterest. It was the best thing ever. I am never going to make another pecan pie.
yeah.
This was just amazing. Amazing. It had like a cookie base
Ooh.
with cake, a cake mix, and then you put some pecans in there and some other things. And you put your filling on top, and then you sprinkle it with chopped pecans.
Nice.
It's so yummy.
Yeah, that's, that website, there's a lot of good stuff. My daughter-in-law's found stuff on there before, and made it. It's wonderful food.
Well, so at my dad's funeral, my mom, country people, if you have a bad day, if you stump your toe, you're getting some food. Well, you'll get a casserole, you'll get
I
something.
like it.
Um, so when my dad passed, all these church ladies from our church that I grew up in, they all just started showing up with food, which was wonderful. Well, one of the ladies, her name's Joyce Jones, she brought what my mom calls orange fluff. Well, I wanted to make orange fluff for her, so she had it here at for Thanksgiving, and she loved it. Well, I tried it out like a few weeks before. Thank goodness,
Mhm.
because if you Google or if you go onto Pinterest and type in orange fluff, that's not actually what Joyce Jones made. So what it's actually called was orange delight.
Okay.
And so Jackie Joy is the one who said, "Oh no, this is what you make." Okay. So I made that. My mom loved it. And she's diabetic. And she kept looking at me going, "I know I'm not eating right, but I've got
Yep.
um so
There
she
you go.
just kept eating. She just kept eating it. It was wonderful.
Alright, since you're getting hungry, I'm gonna bring this all back to business.
Oh yes.
Family gatherings, because if you're being a good family member, the whole time you're there, you're saying, "Hey, what can I help you with?" Or, "What do you
Yes.
need help with?" And in small business, Michelle, thank you for changing, headdresses there. In small business, it's the same thing when you talk to your clients, "How can we help you?" Not, "What do
Yes.
we sell?" Not, "Here's what we sell," but, "What are your problems?" And it's the
Yes.
same thing, "Hey, what do you need? How can I help? Take trash out, run an errand," whatever it is. And with a client, it's like, "What can we do to help?" And a lot of people lose sight of that.
Mhm.
So,
Absolutely. And one of the best ways to get them to start talking, especially this time of year where everybody is just rushing to
yes.
try to get everything checked off of their to-do list, is paint me a picture of what this past week has looked like for you. And then they will automatically start telling you things
Oh, yeah.
that you can just you can you can identify ways where you can help,
Yep.
where your skill set can help. And you could say, "Oh my gosh, sounds like you've got the weight of the world on your shoulders. Would it be helpful if we were able to take this off your plate? Would it be helpful if you didn't have to worry about that?" It's a great way to get your clients talking.
Yes.
And so I always found that that was something that always served me well. Not necessarily how can we help, because people will say, "How can we help?" I don't know. I am up to my ears in things I have to do. Bad time for a call, Michelle. So I learned real early, calling and just saying, "How was your week last week? Paint me a picture of what that
Mhm.
was like for you."
Yep.
And then they start telling you.
Oh, yeah. You hear it all.
If people never like to say that they need help, they
Yes.
never like to admit it. Everyone wants to feel like they are self-sufficient.
And again, this
The
goes back to
e
you and I talk about this all the time. Get them to tell a story about something because we love telling stories, and therein you will hear the solution or the problem in that story. So, well, that's a wonderful tip. If you are looking to fill a position or you want to become an applicant for a position, go to impactstaffinggroup.com and see what they have posted there. And also reach out to Michelle. We've been putting her phone number up here. It is 919-434-4886. Give her a call. See how she can help you. She's a helper at heart. And Michelle, it's always fun having you on the show.
Well, thank you. And even though I've never met Amnon, please tell him it was a delightful way to spend my Monday morning.
He hears you.
I hear you.
Yep. And so
Thank
you lost me with the cranberry, but you rebounded nicely with the mincemeat pie. So well done. Good show today.
Absolutely. It was a great show. And if you need a mincemeat pie, my or a little mincemeat filling and a puff pastry, you just let me know. I'll meet you somewhere.
Just keep them in your car. It'll be cold enough each day. We'll run into each other somewhere. So,
That's for
but
sure.
Michelle, thanks for being on the show. We'll see everybody next time on Triangle BNI.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by StreamingGear.com, Carolina Apparel, and DeltaForce.net.